Do you feel like you are constantly chasing people and convincing them to say yes instead of guiding them? If yes, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to speak about the difference between the thinking and the mindset about the salesperson and thinking and the mindset about an advisor, a professional advisor. Because that single shift alone makes the difference. Now, this is important. Most of the insurance agents and financial advisors did not enter this profession thinking that I want to think like a salesperson. You didn't enter this profession by thinking that I want to push products or convince people. You entered this profession by thinking that I want to help people fix their financial problems, serve and help people achieve their financial goals. But somewhere in the process, because of the targets, the pressure, the survival game, the trainings, your thinking shifted from serving to convincing. It shifted from how I help to how I convince. This shift is subtle, but it changes how you speak, how you listen, and how your client feels you, how your client experiences you. Here is how salesperson mind usually works. I need to impress, I need to be confident, I need to handle all the objections, I need to answer all the questions, and I need a yes from the customer. And this thought process puts you under the pressure of performance. And because of that, every conversation becomes performance pressure. So you are constantly thinking, what should I say next? How do I answer this question? How do I handle this objection? And how do I protect or prevent myself from losing this deal? This is exhausting, and more importantly, this is not how a professional advisor thinks. Before I tell you anything about how a professional advisor's mindset look like, pause for a second. This is not about judging salespeople, or this is not about saying that selling is bad, but this is about recognizing about what actually creates long-term trust and what doesn't. Recognizing about what creates happy client conversation and what creates pressure. So for the next few minutes, just keep everything aside that you have been taught about selling and convincing and closing. Let's rebuild this ground up with completely new perspective, with completely fresh perspective. Now understand this. Thinking like a professional advisor does not mean that you will not sell, you will not pitch products, you will not make money. It doesn't mean all this. It only means that you will not carry the burden of convincing. And that difference changes how people respond to you. What I'm about to say right now might make some of you a little bit uncomfortable. Why? Because many advisors have unknowingly tied their self-worth to outcomes in business. Right? When a client says yes, you feel confident. When you collect a check, you feel happy. And exactly opposite, when a client hesitates, you start doubting yourself. And that's not professionalism, that's emotional dependency on results. So let's fix that first. So here's the simplest way to understand this difference. A salesperson always thinks about how do I get this person to decide now. And a professional advisor, they always think, how do I help this person think clearly? That's it. A professional advisor never rushes the clarity. They are not afraid about silence. They don't get panic when the customer says I need more time, because they fundamentally understand one thing very clearly, that making decision is not their responsibility and it's not something that they should control, because they understand this fact that making right decision for themselves is the responsibility of the customer, of the client. So when I think like a professional advisor, here is what I think about or I focus on. First, what's a real financial problem here? What's the cost of not taking action? What assumptions the client is operating from? And what clarity is missing? I won't think about my pitch, my product, my commission and the deal and the close. All of those things will come later in the conversation naturally. First comes understanding with clarity. Clients don't trust the advisor who talks the most. Instead, they trust the one who asks better questions, who slows the conversation down, who is not desperate for their decision, and who is comfortable and okay with uncertainty during the conversation. Because when you stop trying to win the conversation, the clients stop defending their decision. And that's when real conversation begins. So here is a hidden shift you must notice. When you think and talk and act like a salesperson, every rejection feels personal, every hesitation feels failure, and silence feels dangerous. But when you think like a professional advisor, rejection is a feedback for you, hesitation is information for you, and silence is thinking time for you from the customer side. Same situation, different interpretation. That's real maturity. Now here is what most advisors don't connect. When you think like a professional advisor, your tone changes, your posture changes, your confidence changes, and the conversation is completely at a different level. And slowly, the client starts seeing you as an expert, as a guide. They start trusting you, they start believing you. Their conversation with you deepens. And more importantly, your authority grows naturally. And in such a situation, you don't need to claim authority. In fact, your thinking is creating it for you. So let me give you this one sentence that you must remember throughout your life. A salesperson is someone who is moving decisions. But a professional advisor, a guide, he creates clarity so that decisions emerge. That's the game. This does not mean you have to be passive. This does not mean you have to be indecisive. And it does not at all mean that you have to avoid making recommendations. It only means that you respect clients' decision and thinking space. It means you respect clients' situation. It means you are respecting the process. And it means you are respecting yourself. Professional advisors don't chase, they guide. If this video helped you see your role differently, consider subscribing. This space is for insurance agents, mutual fund distributors, and financial advisors who want clarity before tactics, thinking before scale, and professionalism before pressure. And if you like to explore this kind of shift in thinking at a deeper level, I would like to invite you to meet me live without any pressure. This Saturday, I am hosting a weekly mastermind session where we talk about how to build authority, how to think like an expert advisor, how to think like a professional advisor, and grow without burnout. You will find the registration link in the description below. So if you are someone who think this is something for you, just click the link, register, and let's meet live. You don't become a better advisor by learning better lines. You become the one by changing your thinking. I'll see you in the next one.